Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm Shubhani Gharat. Now, Swiggy delivers a strong set of numbers for the last quarter of FY26. Revenue grew nearly 45% to 6,383 crore from 4,410 crore in the same period last year. Meanwhile, losses for the quarter narrowed to 800 crore versus over 1,080 crore last year. To dissect these numbers, we are now joined in by Gaurang Shah, who's the Senior Vice President, Geojit Investment. Thank you so much, Mr. Shah, for joining us. Now, overall, the net loss has reduced more than expectations. By when will the company break even, according to you, Mr. Shah?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good afternoon to all your viewers and to you. So my sense is that as the losses narrow down, I think they will have to possibly bring in some new business strategy to have a quicker resolution as far as the losses are concerned. Freebies are something that definitely attracts a lot of customers, but at the same time, it puts a little bit of pressure on the top line and the bottom line. So my sense is that possibly in the next couple of quarters, you should see these losses narrowing down. And of course, the delivery platforms are split into various categories. So you have food delivery platform, and you also have quick service platform. That is the quick commerce business. And of course, along with that, they have other platforms as well. So my sense is that food delivery platform will definitely continue to contribute to the top line and bottom line and narrow the losses. But quick commerce is something that I expect will do an additional bit to narrow these losses down sooner rather than later.
Right. And as you rightly pointed out, food delivery looks, in fact, largely in line, but Q-commerce not so much. What could be the reason of that? Also, in between, there was a government diktat to stop that, 10-minute delivery promise for, many of these service providers, including Swiggy.
I definitely concur with that, because that unnecessarily puts the pressure on to the delivery partner, though the company claims they do not put any kind of pressure on the delivery partners, and that they end up into some fatalities also, giving the time-bound delivery that they have to do. So this thing is, I think, already withdrawn, if I'm not mistaken, this 10-minute delivery or 15-minute delivery. So now that you don't have something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong. And in terms of the contribution, so I think it's a finer, thin edge when it comes to quick commerce, business. You have to have very competitive edge over your competitors. So maybe because of certain discounts and certain pricing policies or certain delivery charges, if you are billed about a particular amount, you don't get any delivery charge, and below that. So possibly, the companies will have to rework the strategy as far as that is concerned to possibly have a greener look as far as the Q-commerce is concerned.
Right. So do you think Q-commerce can break even guidance for Q1 FY27 going forward? Also, given the fact that the competition in Q-com is increasing for Swiggy, as again you mentioned, and then there are some large players also stepping up their ammunition in this particular space. Plus, going forward in terms of, overall impact of, the West Asia crisis also on when it comes to delivery, etc.
I don't think West Asia crisis will play a huge role in terms of any kind of underperformance. But yeah, the ammo comes in from the competitors, like you rightly mentioned, new competitors. When they come in, they definitely have more freebies getting offered to the customers to attract them. But when things comes to zeroing down, my sense is that the survival of the fittest, rule will follow. And given the fact that both Zomato, now known as Eternal, and Swiggy have been the first two players in this segment, both food as well as Q-com. So short to medium term, there could be pressure on these two companies as well because of the new entrants coming in and the freebies being offered, and some customer or base getting shifted up for some time. But again, things will get back to business because you can't go on offering discounts and freebies for a long time. Finally, you are answerable to your stakeholders and shareholders.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shah, for joining us and making sense of the strong Q4 figures.